Happy MLK Day. I hope you're having a great start of commemorating Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday. And I woke up early, started cleaning, organizing, and guess what I found? Because I took all the books from my parents' house when they passed and we cleared out their house. Yes, an Ebony magazine issue from January 1986, 33 years ago. So you know what I'm going to be doing for the rest of the day, commemorating this holiday, just reading. But so far I was able to read about when Mrs. Coretta Scott King met with President Reagan at the time, and they signed the bill to officially establish the third Monday of each January as King holiday. And that was back in November 2nd, 1983 when they signed that bill. But starting in January of 1986, the year of my high school graduation. What were you doing in 1986? Yeah, some of you all were not born. But it's important that we set aside time to just reflect on the sacrifices of those who came before us, because it's just such a rich history and ancestry. We don't want to waste time. We want to carry the torch. And this has something to do with today's chapter of scripture. We're in John 3, and it's all about the history and the foretelling and the forerunner, right? We know that John was the forerunner. He was talking about his cousin, right? The Messiah, Jesus, being the one who would carry us into a beautiful future, right? So it is talking about also how John was baptizing people in the river in verse 23. John also was baptizing in Aenon near to Salim because there was much water there, and they came and were baptized. So he had people, for John was not yet cast into prison at that time. And then there arose a question from the people there. They were like some of John's disciples and the Jews about purifying. And they came to John and said unto him, Rabbi, teacher, he that was with thee beyond Jordan, remember that guy you were talking about? He is now baptizing people, right? To whom thou bearest witness, the one you were talking about. Behold, the same baptizes, and all men come to him. So we knew that, look, John was just an introduction, right? You know how people introduce people at a special ceremony or a service, and they give like the highlights and everything, and then the actual speaker come onto the stage. Well, that's what John was doing. John was fearless. He didn't care what other people thought about him. Remember, he had camel hair. He ate locusts, all that. He was different. Do you dare to be different on this holiday, right? We are the ones who are picking up the torch for so many great things that have happened before us. But now we have to carry it on to a new dimension. Are we fearless as far as what people will say about us? What else is going on? In verse 29, John was like, no, I told you that this was going to take place. And he said, this is my joy, therefore is fulfilled, that he that comes now hears from heaven, and he's going to do great things. And guess what? 30. He must increase. Jesus, the Messiah, must increase while I decrease. Are we able to say that? Like, it's not about me, but it's about the work that God has for us. And in verse 34, for he whom God hath sent speaketh the words of God, speaking about Jesus. For God giveth not the Spirit by measure unto him. It's all about honoring the one that the Lord has sent for the mission that he has sent for such a time as this. So, are you full of the faith that God promises each one of us? Or are we full of jealousy because, who do he think he is? No, we all have a work. We have a part to play in this great race, and we need to be diligent so that we can do our part while we have a chance. Amen. And not drop the ball. So on this Dr. MLK Day, let's make sure that we are speaking favorably of those who came before us and those who will come after us in the future. Know that God's will be fulfilled, that our faith is from the Father above, and we are fearless because we have such a great work to do. Continue enjoying this special day and be fearless in the Lord.